Hi, everyone. It's Julia Yarbo with Keeping It Real Caregiving on Air. Thanks so much for joining us. And in this segment, we have a very special guest who's going to talk about the intersection of family caregiving, professional caregiving, and the intersection of celebrating Black history. Please help me welcome Kesha Boyce to Keeping It Real Caregiving. She is the owner of her own home care agency. Keisha, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, it's my pleasure. Hi, everybody.
I am so excited that we connected and that I was able to learn a little bit about you and your background. And so tell our viewers who you are and about your care agency. So you don't work for someone else, you have
I
your
do not.
own care agency to help others.
Hi, everybody. My name is Keisha Boyce. I'm the owner of Blooming Rose Home Care, located in Pleasanton, California. We serve the entire Contra Costa County and Alameda County. Both of that makes up of the whole Bay Area pretty much. We help seniors and adults with disabilities. And we have been in business since August 12, 2021, but I started this journey in April, on April 6th of 2021.
Tell me about the motivation for this. And I mean, you're young, you are in the prime of life, and you're focusing your attention on helping families and elders. How did this all come about? What was the motivation?
So I come from a background of ladies that are in the healthcare field. I mean, I've been in the healthcare field for so long. I went to Oakland Tech, so even in the ninth grade, I was in health academy. All my classes, my English, my history, everything was tailored around healthcare. So it was, I knew this was going to be the road I was going to take. I'll say I did a lot of candy striping in high school. Back then, that's what it was calling. I'm not sure what they calling it now. It's when they give you a stipend for going to work at the hospitals and learn a certain trait. I mean, they was teaching me. I was at Highland Hospital. They taught me radiology. They taught me how to be a medical assistant. I did some work at Highland, Kaiser, and it was a nice small facility that I can't really remember the name of back then, but that helped as well. Fast forward to later, I remember being about 17, 18, and I remember going on Craigslist, and they had this little part of Craigslist that said gigs. So it was like gigs, domestic. I remember going under there, and it was like all of these people that wanted care. I find this lady who really needed care, and she was like, and she was really close to my house. She gave me an interview over the phone, and she was like, you know what? I don't want to hire you. You're way too young. Fast forward, she called me back a few months later, and I spent about 6 years with that lady before she passed away. Her mother, and I was all they had. So it was, during that time, I went to EMT school. After a while, I figured, I really don't want to be an EMT right now. I like to keep the learning though, and the things that comes associated with it. But I really want to do caregiving. So I went to work at some different assisted living facilities. I've done hospice. This prior to owning a home care as well. I worked at different in-home care agencies. I pretty much learned the ins and outs of how all of them work. So fast forward to 2016, no, around 2014, that's when I kind of was getting to the point like I want to own my own. I want to hire people to do this. I'm taking over the world one step at a time.
Well, and I love how you say that, taking over the world. Talk to me a little bit about how important it is for families to have somebody that is a connection, that they're not just there for a job, but that the crucial role that a family caregiver or an in-home aide plays for somebody.
So a lot of the clients that I have, they always ask me, how do you pair people? I don't just pair people because you have the availability. I look at things like, what are your interests? What do you like? If you love to eat, I won't pair you with Sarah who can't cook or Jessica who's never made a meal. I pair off of interest, things that you like, things that you want to do, ways that will help you feel more connected with the things that you did prior to having a caregiver. So it's important to have someone that you feel connected to, if you know what I mean. Like, you get some people. I had a lady call me the other day and she was just like, I'm not racist, but I want someone that's Filipino. And I'm like, I understand that because you probably want someone to help your mom that speaks your language. And so I asked her, do your mom speak English? And she's like, no. And I'm like, a lot of people may get offended. She said that people were getting offended when, she was calling other facilities. But I'm like, I know that the best care comes from someone that understands you. You don't want to put two people in a room that do not speak the same language. How can I care for you if I don't even understand when you're telling me something is wrong? I just have to go off of gestures
Right.
because our schedule meets.
That
No,
brings
no,
up
I'm
a good
listening.
point. And again, I'm really proud of you for launching your business as a
Thank
woman of
you.
color. And why is that so important that we have more owners who are of different ethnic backgrounds and races, and that we take into consideration diversity, equity, and inclusion within this space of caregiving?
I think the number one thing that people say when I show up, and I just went to visit a new client in a hospital, and his son was telling me how he's like his dad is not going to appreciate this. Basically, we got that handled in 30 minutes, and he said to me before the little interview was over, he says, "I get caregivers that look like you. I get other people that come here that look like you, but I've never had a agency owner come in that looks like you, that looks like me." And that was really touching because it's like I never thought about it like that. I didn't think about it like that. And you would be surprised how many people do think about it like that. It's important that you have diversity within this community because you want people to feel comfortable. If I'm going to spend my life with someone or the time that I do have needing care, I want that person to connect to me. Maybe if it's not skin color wise, because that's not always the issue, maybe it's language wise. There's black people that speak Spanish, only Spanish. So it's some people just want that
Right.
connection, and it's important.
Within that, and you work with a lot of different families of different backgrounds. With your experience, what would you say would be the two top things that somebody who recognizes that they're going to need to start researching home care, what are the most important things that they need to ask an agency when they are researching in this?
I would ask about attendance. That it seems so broad, but I would ask, how is the staffing there? How do you hire people? What are the criteria of the people you hire? Are they background checked? You would be surprised how many agencies do not do a background check. They don't do background checks. They
So I'm
don't
assuming that you
dig.
do that.
Oh yeah, of course, yes. I do a background check. We do the vaccination, the booster, everything. We want to be compliant, and not only compliant, it's like if I want someone to take care of me, I want them at their best peak. So you want to make sure that you give them any type of background information that is possible. We do a deep training. Not only that is we look at the training you previously had before as well. We do ongoing training as well. So each month they have it's like going to online school. They get certificates still, and
Mhm.
you have different criterias, whether it's COVID, ongoing transferring, new ways to transfer, and how to talk to family members. It's activities, you name it. I think we have covered it.
Along those same lines, what would you say to potential caregivers that want to work? What do they need to do to prepare themselves so that they are qualified? That they're not coming into somebody's home and just sitting on their phone, filing their nails, not really knowing what they're doing. What do they need to do to be ready?
You have to really, for all my caregivers out there, I'll tell you, like I tell the ladies that I hire and the guys that I hire, you got to really feel it. You have to feel it in your heart that if this happens to you or your mother, your dad, your loved one day, you want somebody to come in there and provide the care that you are about to give someone. So every time you walk into somebody's house, you think as if this is your mother, your father, your auntie, or uncle. You give them that same love, that dedication, that compassion. You give them that, and you cannot go wrong, because when you give it all as if it's someone that's in your family, you cannot go wrong, because at the end of the day, I did everything that I would have done for someone that was in my family. I did everything down to the bone.
There's been a lot of talk, especially here in California. There's more awareness about the care industry and
Hmm.
changes in our laws and focus on making sure that we're also taking care of those in the direct care workforce. Any thoughts on how we can push this industry forward so that you, as a business owner, can support higher wages while not driving clients away because fees are so high? How do we find that middle ground so that our caregivers are earning a wage equitable to this? It's such difficult work emotionally,
Yeah,
physically,
yeah.
you know.
I have noticed that a lot of people that cannot receive care would say they coming from Medicaid, like they have Medicaid, Medi-Cal, Medicare. They have things that does not cover in-home care. And it has been talks that that will change pretty soon, but it needs to be done sooner. There's a lot of people out there that need care. We have things like IHSS, but some people fall a dollar short of that line. And then when it comes to home care, they fall to where they have to decide, well, okay, I need 8 hours of care, but I'm going to take 2 hours each day, but they really need more. In this line of work, we find ourselves doing pro bono work, where we're going that extra mile to make sure that, okay, I'm going to care for this person even if I'm not getting paid to do it. And even though the company still, we it's so much. It's like we're trying to find that underlining factor that connects it all to make it work. Everybody needs care. At the end of the day, I think
Right.
about it like that. No matter the price, the care is needed.
And again, you are in the California, San Francisco Bay Area. What
Yes.
regions do you cover again? Share that with us one more time.
So Blooming Rose Home Cares cover Alameda County and Contra Costa County. We will be expanding. I'm looking
Okay. So,
towards the summertime. Yeah, we will be expanding.
and any final thoughts? What's the one piece of advice that you would give families out there about moving into uh, the care space and what they need to know about? What's that one vital thing?
The one thing that I would like you guys all to keep in mind is that when you see your loved one or you see yourself needing a care, don't be afraid to ask, because that there's people out there to help. There are people like me out there that will come to you for free to do the assessment. It's a complimentary assessment. And we will, if we can do it, we'll help you find someone that can do it. For whatever reason that we could not, we will help you find someone that will. The care is important. You got to know that if you need the help, don't put it off another day. Get the help today.
No, good advice. And I will say to all of the Keeping It Real caregiving family members and new followers and subscribers and anybody else out there, I am very proud of you as a family caregiver and somebody who was concerned about the care that my mother would receive. I
Right.
am thrilled to see a young woman of color in this space. It gives me hope of where we're going next. I want to share with everybody your information, your contact information of how they can find you. So, talk us through how people can connect with you if they so choose.
If you are someone who loves to email, you can find me at info@bloomingrosehc.com. I am also on Facebook at Blooming Rose Home Care, or you can call the number. It's a 24-hour line, 510-988-8894. There will always be someone to talk to you and help you through whatever it is you need help with.
Keisha, thank you so much for joining us. I know it's short,
Thank
but
you for having
people are
me.
busy, their time is valuable. So just gonna keep things moving here at Keeping It Real Caregiving. Do keep us posted on next phases for you and any expansion throughout California. We broadcast all over the country, but
Perfect.
of course, I'm in Northern California. You're in Northern California,
We
so
have to definitely meet in
congratulations
person one day.
and
Yes.
thank you so much, and best of luck.
Thank you for having me.